Welcome to Watching the Horizon. I'm Jake. So maybe you're new to prepping. Maybe the prepping bug just got you recently and you've decided that you want to do something about it. You want to prepare yourself because you think something's going to happen. Whether it's the end of the world as we know it, or maybe you're afraid of martial law or some sort of natural disaster or something like that. You've made the decision that where you're at right now isn't good enough. And you want to do something to prepare, to ensure your future. But there's only one catch. You are broke. Maybe you're a college student. Maybe you're on welfare. Maybe you just don't make a lot of money after you've paid all your bills. It's understandable. A lot of people are in this situation. And they sort of feel trapped, like they don't know what to do. And it can actually create a lot of anxiety because here you have this stress, whatever it was that kind of kicked you into this mode. So you have this sense of urgency that you need to do something, but you don't have any money to do it. I mean, it's not like, you're trying to, buy a new pair of shoes or something like that. Like, usually people who, prep have some sort of sense of like they need to hurry up and put something together and get this done. A lot of times there can be fear involved and they don't know what to do. So I want to talk to you about a few ideas on what you can do in a situation where you're poor, you're broke, you don't have any money, but you know that you need to prep. You got to do something. First thing is you need to make a decision. You need to decide, how bad do you really want to do this? I mean, really. I'm not talking about something like, oh, it would be nice if I could put together, some food storage, or it would be nice if I had some extra water, or, I should probably buy a couple firearms. That would be a good idea. I should probably really do that. But, I'll get over it. Or are you in a situation where you're like, oh my gosh, I really need to do this. I really need to do this. And you've decided that it's going to be a priority. The funny thing about the human condition is that typically when somebody makes their mind up to do something, generally, they get it done. But it all comes down to how bad do they really want it? So be honest with yourself. The thing that caused you to want to prepare, is this just a fleeting feeling that you're having? Or is this something that is really kind of gnawing away at your gut? Is this something that you know you need to do and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it done? If this is just going to be sort of a fad for you, then I still recommend that you prepare and do it what you can. But when you're in a situation where you just don't have a lot of money, it's going to require work and discipline. And if you don't have the stomach for it, then just save your time and do something else. The first thing I would recommend that you do is stop consuming. We are a nation of consumers. If you really look hard at all the purchases that you make in a day, a week, a month, how many of those purchases are on throwaway or consumables? And I mean all of it. Like Ziploc baggies, paper towels, toilet paper. Okay, I'm going to give you the toilet paper. You can, please don't. Just keep the toilet paper going. That's perfectly acceptable. Soda, fast food. Oh my gosh. According to the Consumer Expenditure Survey, of all the money that American households spend on food, 42% of it is on restaurants and fast food or convenience foods. So this is your Starbucks, this is your drive-through, this is your restaurants. I mean, this is food that's way overpriced for what you get. Cut it out. Cut out with the soda. If you go to the grocery store and you're buying cans of soda, stop. It's expensive. You need to be serious about cutting this stuff out of your budget. And then take that money and put it towards your prepping. That's probably a considerable amount of money for you right now that you can do today. So, step one, stop consuming wherever possible. This also means thrift store shopping. I mean, where do you get your clothes at? Now, granted, I'll give you this. Walmart, from time to time, has some pretty amazing deals on their clothing. But if you're looking at anything that's more than that, consider buying used. Not just clothing, but furniture and tools and anything else that you need to buy. If you find yourself needing to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any of the big box stores, stop. Can you buy this used? Really? Now you might be thinking to yourself, ew, gross, I don't want to buy a shirt somebody else wore. Well, what are we talking about as far as a difference in price? I mean, there's thrift stores out there, well, you'll pay like $1 for a shirt. Or you pay by the pound for your clothing. There's some nice stuff there. Check it out. Give it a chance. Because really, how important is this prepping to you? You may need to get used to this kind of lifestyle sooner than you think. So don't snub your nose at thrift store purchases or secondhand. Next is learn to budget, people. Oh my gosh. So many people that I talk to don't have a budget. They just spend money based on whatever the number is on the app on their phone. Stop it. Just stop. That is not the appropriate way to manage your money. You are probably leaking so much money in so many places. You need to get a handle on it. If you don't already know how to budget, like a proper budget, learn. It's free. If you're watching this, chances are you have access to the internet. And if you have access to the internet, then you can go to some of these websites. They're free. Credit.org has a great online class. It's free. My Money Coach, NerdWallet, both of these websites also have great budget classes. And of course, there's YouTube. Now with YouTube, you're going to find lots of different people with lots of different styles. I don't care. Find one you like and then do it. Along with that, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you stop spending money based on the number that's on the app on your phone. In fact, you probably shouldn't be banking on your phone at all. There's some serious privacy concerns there, but that's another video. Seriously though, I want you to walk into your bank, go up to the teller, yes, go there in person, and ask if they have any check registers. Yes, paper, a physical, tangible item. A lot of banks still have these and they offer them for free. If yours doesn't, go to the next bank. It doesn't even have to be your bank. Just go to the teller and ask if they have a check register. If they don't, then just make one. Seriously, it's a piece of paper. You need to keep track of every dollar that goes in and every dollar that goes out, and you need to do it by hand. Yes, I understand that there are apps for this. I understand that the app on your phone does this automatically for you, but being physically cognizant about writing it down and having to do the math, having to do the subtraction, and actually writing the number in actually is a huge psychological difference. Do it. It will be the most infuriating but eye-opening experience you've probably had in a really long time. You will realize how much money you're spending. And when you go online to check your balance in relationship to what you have on paper, and you realize that the numbers aren't the same because you have some sort of auto pay that you didn't even know about, that Apple or PayPal or one of these other websites has been charging you monthly and you didn't even know, and it's like maybe $2.99 or maybe it's $6 a month or something like that. You're leaking money and you don't even know it. They're just reaching into your bank account. get control of your bank account. Get a check register. Next up is watch for freebies. There's an amazing number of freebies that are out there. It's kind of scary, actually. Since most people live in the cities, most people are going to have access to a lot of freebies. Websites like Craigslist, FreeCycle, excellent resources to see what's out there, but also get involved in your community. You would be surprised what people are willing to just give away if they know that you're looking. But more on that later. Seriously though, there's so much free stuff. You could probably get a lot of your preps for free just by keeping an eye out. But you need to let people know that you're looking, and you need to let people know what you're looking for. Now, if you're just starting, granted, you're going to have a pretty long shopping list. Don't overwhelm people. Just let people know that you're looking for stuff that they might be throwing away. Not a big deal, but do let them know what you're looking for. Maybe it's canning jars. Maybe it's number 10 tin cans. Maybe you just want people's aluminum, and if they're willing to give it to you, if you're willing just to go get it, I mean, that's free money right there. Also, volunteer your time. A lot of places will be willing to let you have whatever you want if you'd be willing to clean it up and haul it away. But again, more on that later. Be involved in the community and just keep an eye out for freebies. They're everywhere, if you really look. Now that being said, please understand, beggars can't be choosers. Everything in this world costs three things, or a combination thereof. Time, money, and effort. If you're short on one, you can usually make up for it with a combination of the other two. That's just how it works. If you don't have time to study for an exam, maybe because you wasted it all partying with your friends, no big deal. You're going to make up for it with money and effort. Hence, cramming and lots of caffeine. Since you don't have a lot of money for your preps, then you need to be willing to spend more time and more effort in getting them. So don't worry about that brand new techie widget thingamajig that you saw a video on and somebody did a review and you're thinking to yourself, wow, that is the coolest thing ever. That is what I need to be a cool prepper. What is that widget actually doing for you? What should you be getting instead of that? What were people doing before that really cool widget? They had something. Chances are it's a lot cheaper. Get that thing instead. Also, keep your eyes open for clearance items. When you go to the store, make a point. Go to the clearance section first. Maybe there's something that you're doing now already. Well, continue to do that. But now that you have sort of prepping in mind, you'll be able to look at things with a slightly different lens. Maybe you're going to see something that's really, really inexpensive, like really good deal. Or maybe somebody gives you a bunch of stuff, but you don't need it. Can you sell it? Is it something that somebody else would be willing to pay money for? Can you take this thing because it's out of season for you and maybe put it on eBay and get a couple bucks for it? Or Craigslist? I mean, again, we're watching pennies here. So if you see an opportunity where someone's willing to give you like a bunch of free fencing, but you're not needing fencing or anything like that, well, is that something somebody'd be willing to pay 10 bucks for? Put a listing on Craigslist. Take it. Take the freebie, even if you don't need it, and then sell it. But you got to follow through on that last bit, or else you're going to end up with just a bunch of junk. So just remember that. Utilize your public resources. When you start looking, you're going to be amazed at how many public resources there actually are. These are going to be things like classes at your local extension office, or even just the public library. Now, we may not be talking about things here when it comes to public resources, although keep an eye out, you'd be surprised. One of the most valuable things that you're actually going to get from free public resources are skills and relationships. Those don't cost anything half the time. Maybe they're going to do a free class on how to can, Maybe there's a church in your area that's doing a clothing drive. Volunteer, help out, and then be like, hey, I could use some of this stuff. I'm one of the people that some of this clothing might go to, but I'd be willing to help. A lot of churches and other nonprofit organizations are out there trying to help teach skills. Skills, many of which are prepper related. Things like CPR and CERT certification. A lot of those things don't cost any money, or they're very low cost. Take advantage of these. Take advantage of going to these things, participating, throw yourself into it, and make friends. The relationships that you're going to build going to these types of free classes is probably worth more than all the preps that you could buy. Seriously. Excellent, excellent resource. Even if you're not broke and you've got tons of money, you need to be doing this also, because money can't buy those types of relationships, and those are going to be supremely valuable. Practice and skills are going to be invaluable. Last item on the list is you need to be patient. I'm not kidding. You're going to have this sense that you need to get all this stuff together right now. Because maybe if you're just starting out prepping, you're convinced that the world is going to end tomorrow, or maybe next week, and you're kind of freaking out. Well, stop. Be patient. Create a plan, put a plan together, and then work the plan. And take solace in that you, A, have a plan and you're actually doing something about it. There are plenty of people out there that are just oblivious and not doing anything about it. But be patient with yourself. Give yourself a break when it comes to freaking out. There's already enough stress and anxiety in this world. You know what? You've got a plan. You know what you need. You're working on getting it done. Now just work your plan. It'll be okay. So this is what I recommend that you do if you find yourself in a situation where you are broke and you need to prep. I hope this is helpful. I'd love to know if there's any tips or suggestions that you have. Seriously, put them in the comments. I'd love to know if there's anything else. And honestly, you'd be helping everybody else out too who watches this video. So anyway, thanks for watching and keep your eyes open.